thoughts? Yes.
So I wanted to speak to the whole notion of targeting, because I think as we talk about online in particular, there is the ability to start targeting based on behavior and psychographic information. And so what's starting to happen, and just using myself as an example, driving down the street, you might hear a certain kind of music coming from a car, and so 20 years ago, you would have had an expectation of who would be driving that car. Versus today, when you turn around, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're listening to that. And so there's a whole changing lifestyle is really the thing that's creating this cohesion across multiple kinds of groups, and those groups tend to be multiracial, multi-ethnic. And so music is one of those mediums that if you target people who like a specific artist or a certain kind of music, you're automatically going to pull in a multi-ethnic and multiracial audience. And so one of the things that we've been thinking about at Discovery, for example, who I work for, is there's a tool that looks at affinity, and it looks at affinity based on TV shows that people like, and it also looks at different media types. One of those media types happens to be music. And so once you start looking at celebrities and artists and the kinds of people that they attract, then you can use that as sort of a linchpin to create your marketing efforts, and then you'll automatically start pulling people that are going to be multi-ethnic and multiracial, because those kinds of things cross those barriers. And I think sometimes we create these artificial segmentations based on ethnicity that don't really exist. And so by targeting what people are actually doing, how they're actually spending their money, how they're actually spending their time online, and if you have that intelligence, then you can be a lot more intelligent about how you go reach those communities online. So you won't just go buy Black Planet, but maybe you'll go buy ESPN, or you'll go to a mobile site and you'll start looking at data that says, for example, one of the things that we've seen over time is the digital divide has limited African Americans and Hispanics in terms of web adoption. But what's starting to happen is mobile devices start to proliferate. You see that African Americans and Hispanics use mobile apps, use mobile webs, and over-index the rate of the general population. So if you're trying to reach those audiences, start thinking about those devices, start thinking about mobile, start creating an app, because you're going to start pulling those audiences in. So I think you can use the platforms as a way to start creating a more diverse audience, as opposed to thinking about segmentation that may just not get you anywhere.
So what are those other connectors to use of music? I know you had the C example.
So there's different personalities. There's show.
I guess in terms of media.
In terms of media?
Yeah, since I know a lot of people are looking at executing campaigns, is that right?
Right, so there's a tool that I don't know, I have questions about whether the tool actually works or not, so I don't want to talk about the tool itself. But what's starting to happen is that there are data platforms that are coming out with data that looks at things like, here are the TV shows that people watch, here are the radio stations that they listen to, here's the art, here's the music that they listen to. And unfortunately that data is based on MySpace, and MySpace has started sort of dying, so I don't necessarily trust some of the data in that tool. But in addition to that, radio stations, media like magazines, newspapers, what songs do they listen to, and what celebrities do they follow in terms of Twitter